All right, I'm here with Jim Root of Three Man Weave. Also had his work featured on the Field of 68, the Action Network as well. Thank you for coming on. I want to talk about Bryant basketball. Obviously, it starts with Coach Grasso, what he has done since he's gotten there. But even before I get to Grasso, I do want to talk about Charles Pride, just named to God. There we go.
The
All
Jerry
right.
West Award.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Sorry. Let me start over if that's all right.
Go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
You got Jerry West. It's a pretty big deal, Jerry West. All right. All right. All right, I'm here with Jim Root of Three Man Weave. Also has his work featured on the Field of 68, the Action Network as well. I want to talk about Bryant basketball. Obviously, you got to start with Coach Grasso, but also recently, I believe it was the other day, we had Charles Pride being named to the Jerry West watch list, which goes to the best shooting guard. Can you talk a little bit just about Charles Pride and what a big deal? I know it's preseason, but for him to be on that list.
Yeah, it's remarkable. You go down the list, and I believe there's one other mid-major representative. That's Tavion Kinsey of Marshall. And you mentioned to me before, it's not, there's no Big East, there's no A10 representative. He's like maybe the best shooting guard in the Northeast. It's really impressive. And just what he did last year, that little 2-game sample without Peter Kiss, really indicates what he's capable of this year now when he's the guy, the number one offensive option, maybe one of the best scorers in the entire country, definitely a candidate to lead the country in scoring the same way Kiss did.
Absolutely. Yeah. Kiss obviously got a lot of the notoriety, and as he should. I look at Pride. Not only can he put the ball, in the hoop, I think he averaged close to 8 rebounds a game. He's a lockdown defender. High on him. And obviously, as I mentioned, Coach Grasso and Bryant. I feel like there has not been a better mid-major team in the last, I would say, 4 years that has built their not just their resume, sorry, but the attention they've gotten from the non-traditional media outlets. Can you talk about just how Bryant really has gone from I think a 4-win team, Coach Grasso comes in, and what they have now, and just the national attention they're getting in the last couple of years?
And yeah, he's done it different ways. I mean, he brought in some really talented freshmen right away. I remember thinking, okay, this class, I got to pay attention to them as they continue to grow in what was the NEC, now the America East. But then also, he has been dominant in the transfer portal, like mid-major Arkansas, maybe you call him, because Eric Musselman's always been the champion of the portal. But then the style too, like that matters. The fact that they get up and down, they play with a lot of freedom, they give a lot of different guys shots at minutes, they put up some gaudy numbers. All that combines to make Bryant somebody that's really worth paying attention to, and they're getting up in the conference pecking order too, joining the America East with Vermont, some of the powerhouses they've got there. So it's been really kind of staggering to see what Grasso's been able to do from where the program was to where it is now today with the talent and just the upwards trajectory that they're on.
Definitely. And I stopped by a couple of practices the last couple of weeks. I think the biggest difference for me from last year to this year is not just the talent, but the size and the athleticism. I mean, the speed in which their practices run. It's a sight to see. If you can stop by there, I would say 100%, do that. Timberlake and Doug, two obviously huge names. I want to get to a few others as well, but Timberlake in particular, I feel like hasn't had a fair shot yet. Obviously started at Miami, went to Memphis. Can you talk a little bit maybe just about his upside and what you think he can become at Bryant?
Yeah, I wrote our Miami preview for Three Man Weave way back a few years ago. And so I watched him in high school and was just really impressed by his skill level. I mean, he's basically a 6'6" power point guard. Like he's fully capable of handling that role. He's a good passer, great b-ball IQ, and an excellent athlete. So now he can come in for a team like Bryant that runs up and down the floor. And the America East isn't huge like in the interior. So I think they're going to try to flex him down to the post a little bit, maybe run some small lineups. And he's fully capable of that because he's broad shouldered, he's strong, he'll get after it on the glass. I mean, just the versatility that he brings, the talent level into a league like the America East seems like a really good shot at an all conference spot for him. And if he is able to stay healthy, I know that's limited a little bit in the past, then the sky's the limit for a guy like that coming into the Bryant system under Grasso.
Definitely. And then, talking about Doug, obviously he became a household name during the NCAA tournament. I think he never averaged more than 4 3-point field goal attempts at St. Peter's in this system. I've heard Coach Grasso say he wants him to obviously be a higher volume in terms of shooting from beyond the arc. What do you think he could do as a piece? And also, you look at, you have Sharif Bullock, you have Antoine Walker coming in as well, but some of the other transfers that you see making their mark on this program.
I'm excited to see Doug Edert in this system because just looking back at like Adam Alita last year took, I think, a ton of threes, almost made 100 himself. Like that's something Edert could do. He's arguably a better shooter than Alita. He doesn't have the same size on the wing, but he shot 41% last year. Alita was down, I think, around 33. There's a chance Edert is just, one of the best shooters in the Northeast. We saw him more in that structured system at St. Peter's, a half court system where he got a lot of looks coming off of screens kind of generated by the offense in the half court. Now he's going to be unleashing in transition, and that's going to be really fun to watch. Him with a little bit more freedom. I'm sure Buffalo Wild Wings is eager to capitalize on their investment there. So Dougie's going to be definitely making a name for himself. You mentioned a couple other transfers. The one I'm really keeping an eye on, I think, is Chauncey Hawkins because he really fits what Grasso wants to do with the up and down system because he is just speed personified. He can get the ball and go, go, go. He can score, but I think he's going to be pretty content to set up Pride, to set up Timberlake, to set up Doug, let those guys get buckets on the wing and just kind of enjoy being the facilitator in a team in a system with a ton of weapons.
Definitely. No, I think they're going to be once again one of the most exciting teams, and I think they obviously will have a higher profile even than last year. But a team that I think they get to the tournament can do some damage.